Good morning, dear students. Let us continue from where we have left. We have discussed already the crystal field splitting in octahedral complexes. So now we shall discuss the crystal field splitting in tetrahedral complexes. I have drawn here a tetrahedral geometry. Is it right? Metal ion is there, 4 ligands are there, so it is a tetrahedral geometry. Now when you look at this tetrahedral geometry, the ligands are approaching this central metal ion between the axes. I repeat this, the ligands in the tetrahedral complexes approaching the central metal ion between the axes. That means when the ligands are approaching the central metal ion between the axes, the orbitals of the central metal ion which are there between the axes, they suffer maximum repulsion. Which are those orbitals? dxy, dyz and dzx orbitals which are there between the axes, they suffer maximum repulsion and hence they are raised in energy. So I have written them above. So they are called here T2 orbitals, not T2g orbitals as I said in case of the octahedral complexes. I will come to that point later on. Now similarly, now here dx square minus y square and dz square orbitals which are there along the axis, they suffer minimum repulsion. They are not there along the direction of the incoming ligand. Therefore, they suffer minimum repulsion. Therefore, I have written them below. In other words, they are lowered in energy. And these two orbitals, dx square minus y square, dz square orbitals are called E orbitals. They are called E orbitals. Right. Why I have not written G here? Because if you take this tetrahedral complex, it has got no plane of symmetry. If I write the octahedral complex, it has got the plane of symmetry. What does it mean? A plane of symmetry is a plane. If we cut the molecule along that plane, both the halves they look same. In other words, both the halves are the mirror images of each other. See, for example, here, if I cut this octahedral molecule in this direction, this portion and this portion, they have become equal. They are equal. In other words, they are the mirror images of each other. So here, tetrahedral complex has got no plane of symmetry. I have not written here G. In other words, that subscript G indicates the plane of symmetry. So wherever the molecule has got the plane of symmetry, we write that symbol G. So this is how the crystal field splitting occurs in case of the tetrahedral complexes. And here the energy difference between this E energy level and this barycenter, this is called as barycenter, I said. The difference between these two is minus 6 dq, and here it is plus 4 dq. Look here, it is exactly the reverse of what? The octahedral complexes. In octahedral complexes, you have seen this dxy, dyz, dzx orbitals were below here. So here you are noticing that these three orbitals are above. So the tetrahedral complexes, the splitting in case of the tetrahedral complexes is exactly the reverse of the crystal field splitting in case of the octahedral complexes. Is it okay? So I repeat this once again. When you look at this tetrahedral geometry, what you are noticing? The ligands are approaching the central metal ion between the axes. So therefore, dxy, dyz, dzx orbital of the central metal ion which are there between the axes, they suffer maximum repulsion and hence they are raised in energy. Whereas the two other orbitals, dx square minus y square, dz square orbitals, they are there along the axis. Therefore, they suffer minimum repulsion and hence they are lowered in energy. And these two orbitals, dx square minus y square, dz square, are represented by E, and these three orbitals, they are represented by T2 orbitals. Is it right? So this is about the crystal field splitting in case of the tetrahedral complexes. Now we shall study the crystal field splitting in case of the square planar complexes. Crystal field splitting in case of square planar complexes. Right. I will write here the octahedral geometry. Observe this carefully. I will treat this as x-axis, this as y-axis, and this as z-axis. And at each corner there are ligands. Now observe. For octahedral complex, we have written this splitting like this. So in case of the octahedral complexes, the splitting is like this. These are T2G orbitals and these are EG orbitals. dxy, this is dyz, and dzx. This is dx square minus y square and dz square orbitals. Remember here what I said? Octahedral complex that we have already learned. The splitting of the octahedral, the splitting of d orbitals in octahedral complexes is like this. Now observe. If I remove this z-axis, I am removing this z-axis. If I remove this z-axis, the octahedral geometry has become what? A square planar geometry. I repeat this. I have removed that z-axis. When I removed that z-axis, you are noticing that the octahedral geometry has become what? The square planar geometry. That means the orbitals which are there along this z-axis, the orbitals of the central metal ion which are there along this z-axis, they suffers minimum energy. They suffers minimum energy. Which are those orbitals now? dyz and dzx. So now here they suffers minimum energy. dyz and dzx orbitals. So they suffer minimum energy and they are termed as EG orbitals. dyz and dzx orbitals, they are termed as EG orbitals and their energy is minus 5.14 dq. Their energy is minus 5.14 dq. So remember here, the dyz and dzx orbitals which are there along z-axis, they suffer minimum repulsion and hence they are lowered in energy. Similarly here, in case of the EG orbital which is there along the z-axis, it suffers minimum repulsion and hence it is lowered in energy. So I will write here, this is dz square orbital which suffers the minimum repulsion and hence it is lowered in energy, and its energy, crystal field energy is written as minus 4.28 dq, minus 4.28 dq. Now next, the orbitals which are there along the axis, the orbitals which are there along the axis, they suffer maximum repulsion. They suffer maximum repulsion. Now here, this is the orbital which are there along the axis. Therefore, it suffers maximum repulsion, and hence it is raised in energy. So this is dx square minus y square orbital, and it is denoted as B1g orbital. It is denoted as B1g orbital. Similarly, here there is one orbital which is there along x and y axis. So it also suffers maximum energy, and hence it is raised in energy. And I will write this orbital here. This is dxy orbital, and this is termed as B2g orbital. B2g orbital. Its energy is 2.28. And its energy dx square minus y square, in other words B1g orbital energy is 12.28. It is 12.28, and here dz square orbital is represented as A1g orbital. A1g orbital. So this is how the crystal field splitting is occurring in case of the square planar complexes. This is the crystal field splitting. And the distance between these two orbitals, that is B1g and B2g, is nothing but crystal field stabilization energy in case of the square planar complexes. So I repeat this once again what I said. First I have taken this square octahedral complex, and I have shown its octahedral splitting, right? The d orbitals, how they are splitting in octahedral complexes. Then what I have done, I have removed the z-axis. When I removed the z-axis, the octahedral complex geometry has become the square planar geometry. That means the orbitals of the central metal ion, which are there along z-axis, they suffer minimum repulsion. So which are those orbitals that are there along z-axis? dy, z, dzx. Therefore, they suffer minimum repulsion. They are lowered in energy. They are called Eg orbitals, and their energy is minus 5.14 dq. And here there is one orbital, dz square orbital, so which also suffers minimum energy. Therefore, it is also lowered in energy. dz square I have written here, and it is denoted as A1g orbital, and its energy is minus 4.28 dq. Now the ligands in case of the square planar complex are approaching along x and y axis. That means the orbitals of the central metal ion in the square planar complexes which are there along x and y axis, they suffer maximum repulsion. Therefore, see here this dxy orbital suffers maximum repulsion, and hence it is raised in energy. It is raised in energy. Therefore, I have written here it is dxy, and it is denoted as B2g orbital, and its energy is written as 2.28 dq. And another orbital, dx square minus y square, whose energy, which gets more repulsion, it experiences more repulsion, and it is raised in energy. And I have written here, it is denoted as B1g orbital, and its energy is 12.28. So the difference between this B1g and B2g orbital is called the crystal field stabilization energy for square planar complexes. So this is the crystal field splitting in case of the square planar complexes. So you have learned in three cases how the d orbitals are splitting. Number one, octahedral in octahedral complexes. Then number two, in tetrahedral complexes. And finally, we have studied the crystal field splitting in case of the square planar complexes. So having learned this, now let us calculate the crystal field stabilization energy, CFSE. The crystal field stabilization energy in case of octahedral complexes first. Crystal field stabilization energy. Calculation of crystal field stabilization energy in first octahedral complexes. Right. Now I write the splitting in case of the octahedral complexes. First, they split like this. These are P2G orbitals and these are EG orbitals, and this is a barycenter. Distance between these two is, I said it is crystal field stabilization energy, and it is equal to, I said, minus 10 dQ. If I place the electron here, I said it is 4 dQ, minus 4 dQ. And if I place one electron in the EG orbital, it will be 6 dQ energy. Now, let us calculate the crystal field stabilization energy for a D1 system in octahedral complex. What I said, D1 system. It means in the complex, in octahedral complex, if the central metal ion has got one electron in its d orbital, then we say it is D1 system. Now, D1 system, one electron is there in the d orbital. Now let us calculate what is crystal field stabilization energy. Both in case of strong ligand field and weak ligand field. For a D1 system, let us calculate the crystal field stabilization energy both in strong ligand field and weak ligand field. The strong ligand field complexes are also called low spin complexes. Low spin complexes. Weak ligand field complexes are also called high spin complexes. High spin complexes. Now, for D1 system, one electron is there, therefore I will write one electron here. So what is the configuration first? It is T2G1. 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 What is the energy there? Minus 4 dQ. Minus 4 dQ. Even in the weak ligand field also, there is only one electron, therefore its configuration becomes same. So it is T2G1 and its energy is once again minus 4 dQ. Is it okay? Now let us calculate for system having 2 electrons in d orbital. So calculate the crystal field stabilization energy for a D2 system in octahedral complex. So there are 2 electrons, therefore I must write the configuration like this: 1, 2. So in case of the strong ligand field, so 2 electrons are there, its configuration becomes T2G, and what about the energy? 4 plus 4, 8 dQ. Even for weak ligand also, it remains the same. So T2G2 and minus 8 dQ. Now let us calculate for D3 system. So D3 system. So there are 3 electrons, therefore I distribute them 1, 2, 3. So the configuration becomes, in a strong ligand field it is T2G3, and what about its energy? 4. 3 electrons are there, therefore 3 4s are 12. So minus 12 dQ. And what about in case of the weak ligand? It remains the same. So it is T2G3, and its energy is minus 12 dQ. Now, for a D4 system, let us calculate. The octahedral complex having 4 electrons in its d orbital. Interesting case now. How many electrons are there? 4. So in strong ligand field, let us fill 1, 2, 3. Now the fourth electron here, it gets paired because we said it is a strong ligand. So it is getting paired. So write its electronic configuration T2G. T2G, how many electrons? 4 electrons. Plus, here you must write one pair of electron. So it is one pair of electron. Put a dash mark and write one pair there. It is not minus sign, it is a dash. And what about this energy? So 4 electron, 4 4s are 16, minus 16 dq. Minus 16 dq. Now, for a weak ligand field, let us say how its distribution becomes. Now in the weak ligand field, the fourth electron is going to the Eg energy level. Fourth electron is going to what? The Eg energy level. So that means let me write the configuration here now. For a weak ligand field, T2G3 and Eg1. What is its energy there? 4. 3 electrons are there. 3 4s are 12. 12 minus 12 plus 6. It will become minus 6 dq. Followed what I have written? The fourth electron is not getting paired here. It is going to what? The higher energy level, that is Eg energy level, and hence the configuration becomes T2G3 Eg1, and the energy becomes, I said it is 12 minus 12 plus 6 will give us minus 6 dq. Now here the question is why this electron is going to the higher energy level, that is Eg energy level. I said it is a weak ligand, right? The ligand is a weak ligand. So here the definition is, if the crystal field stabilization energy, if the crystal field stabilization energy is less than pairing energy. Followed what I have written? Crystal field stabilization energy is less than what? Pairing energy. Therefore that electron is going to what? The Eg energy level. That means if the crystal field stabilization energy is less than the pairing energy, then the ligand is said to be a weak ligand. Follow this definition. The other theory that we have learned, valency bond theory, could not explain why some ligands are called strong ligands and why some ligands are called as weak ligands. Right? Now here, the crystal field theory is giving us the definition. So what is a weak ligand? A ligand in which the crystal field stabilization energy is less than what? The pairing energy. Okay. That means in case of the strong ligand field, I have written here the paired electron there. That means crystal field stabilization energy, if it is more than, exactly the reverse of this, if the crystal field stabilization energy is more than the pairing energy, then that ligand is said to be a strong ligand. Followed these two definitions. So what is a strong ligand according to the crystal field theory? If the crystal field stabilization energy is greater than the pairing energy, then the ligand is said to be a strong ligand. The ligand is said to be a weak ligand if the crystal field stabilization energy is less than pairing energy. So this is how we will calculate the crystal field stabilization energies, right? You can continue for calculating the D5, D6 up to D10, right? Then now let us see, in case of the tetrahedral complexes, the calculation of the crystal field stabilization energy for various systems in the tetrahedral complexes. So in tetrahedral complexes, we have seen this splitting occurs like this. So these are E orbitals and these are D2 orbitals, right? I am not writing G, you know it very well. Now the energy of this E is minus 6 dq and here it is plus 4 dq, the energy of this T2 orbital. Now let me write for D1 system, both in strong ligand field and weak ligand field. So I will write for D1 system. So one electron is there, therefore I will write here that one electron here. It becomes the configuration for strong ligand field is E1, right? And its energy is crystal field stabilization energy is minus 6 dq, minus 6 dq. So in case of the weak ligand field also, since there is only one electron, its configuration is E1 and energy is once again 6 dq. So you can continue like this. Now I will calculate for D3 system. So 3 electrons are there. 1, 2, next it gets paired. Okay. So for strong ligand field, so what is energy? 3 electrons are there. It becomes E3. E3 it is, and the energy becomes how much? 3 electrons. Therefore 3 6 are 18, minus 18 dq, minus 18 dq. So what about the weak ligand field? For a weak ligand field, this electron, the third electron, goes to this energy, goes to that energy. Therefore the configuration becomes what? E2 and T21. T21. What about the energy? Here it is minus 12. Minus 12 plus 4 will become minus 8 dq. Followed what I said? So this is how you go on, calculate, you practice it for up to D10 system. So we have calculated the crystal field stabilization energy in case of the octahedral complexes and tetrahedral complexes for various systems, for D1, D2, D3 and so on, right? And important point, I said the strong ligand field, they are said to be the low spin complexes, whereas the weak ligand field complexes are also called the high spin complexes. Why they are called high spin complexes? Because they contain more number of unpaired electrons. Is it okay? So remember this. So thank you very much. Tomorrow we shall meet with the other aspect of this coordination compounds. Thank you.